foldables, are they worth it? What do they do for you? Are they really cutting edge technology? Are they best for multitasking only, or are there other purposes for the foldable phone today? We're going to cover that, and by the end of this video, you're going to know whether foldable is worth your hard-earned cash. I'm Mark, you're watching GOT. If you like what you see, please smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more tech news and reviews. Back to the video. Now, of course, before the foldables came into market, we were dealing with things like a small phone like this, and then maybe a tablet like an iPad, or what we have here is a Samsung Android tablet. So, of course, these two don't go together, but you can see the compelling difference in the size of the screens. Or we can grab an Android, for example, here, a little bit larger. You can see here, even more modern phone is still quite a compelling difference. I don't know why this thing is freaking out on me, probably because of the magnet on the case. And these foldables start to come out with decent cameras as well, so you can do recording and different things on it. But of course, that's a little too bulky. I'm sure you've seen pictures of people out in crowds taking videos and pictures with their tablets. That's kind of difficult to do with such a large device. And of course, it's clearly obvious what you're doing as well. And now, where the foldable fits in is you can open this thing up and you have a nice screen. As a matter of fact, for this instance right here, you have twice the size screen as the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is actually two Pixel 9 Pros side by side. So it makes multitasking with two apps a little bit easier. So you open up two side-by-side apps there, do a study of some sort. Now you've got something to work with that's not too bulky, where now you've got a little bit over half the size of this screen to work with. So with the form factors of the foldables, it really makes them enticing compared to like your standard bar phone and its size still being quite a bit smaller. Then of course with Samsung, you could open up a third app if you choose to, which makes it really nice. You can add it there, or you can actually add a fourth app if you really want to and make it a floater. So there you got 4 apps. So you can do quite a bit of multitasking. Now, can you do that over here on the tablet? Well, of course you can. You can multitask and you got a much bigger screen, but then you have this big thing to carry around. And if you try to fold it, you no longer have a tablet. So of course, that's what makes the foldables so appealing. I'll also address some of the misconceptions about foldables. Some people say they're very fragile, not very durable. Well, they test these things like the Samsung, for example. They put them through vigorous tests, like the Samsung is put in a machine and open to close over 200,000 times without any issues. And they haven't had any problem with them. So that's really nice. So they put them through a lot of tests. Also, just as the bar phones could be dropped, you put a case on it and you can protect it. Just like this has a Bataka case. And if you choose to, you can put a front screen protector on it. Now, I'm not saying that they're just as strong as a bar phone, but you know what? When it's closed up, it's just as solid as a bar phone. And I would say that 90% of the time when you open up your foldable, you're going to be sitting down anyway, and you're going to use 2 hands. Otherwise, if you're just going to reach for a quick bit of information, it's no different than grabbing a bar phone and grabbing your foldable. You don't have to open it up, get your information, and still have the opportunity to use a larger screen. Now, we can talk about the visible crease. People talk about that all the time. They say, well, but the crease would drive me crazy. Well, those of us that have owned a foldable, not so much. That begins to disappear over time. You don't even notice it. And especially if you're looking straight on it, you can't even see it. And there are even some phones that are better than others, like the OnePlus Open, where that crease is very minimal, and it is actually hard to see. And then there's another misconception of poor battery life. Well, depending on the foldable. Now, the Samsungs up to the Z Fold 5, they had issues with the batteries draining pretty fast because they put a small 4,400 milliamp battery in. And even in the 6 and actually in the SE, the foldable SE, they only put a 4,400 milliamp hour battery. But because the processors are getting better, they're lasting long. So you can get a full day's use on 8 of these foldables. Now, I'm finding that I can get more than a day and a half worth of time out of this Pixel 9 Pro foldable simply because the front screen is just as large as your standard bar phone. So I seem to open it up less than I would on the Z Fold. So it really all depends on the phone. Now, I do want to be real with you, so let's look at some downsides. Now, the biggest downside is the price, where you're looking at a Pixel 9 Pro that you're $1,000, go up to a Pixel Fold, you're paying around $1,700 to $1,800. So quite a big premium to get that foldable. However, think of it this way, if you will. If you get a bar phone and then you buy a tablet, how much did you spend? In most cases, you're spending either as much or more than just getting the foldable phone. that is portable and gives you a tablet on the go wherever you're at. So if you're one that does have a standard bar phone and a tablet, add those prices together and see where you're at, see if it would make sense for you to have a foldable. Now, another downside is the weight and the thickness. As you can see, the foldable is a little bit thicker than the standard bar phone, but they're getting so much closer these days that you can't hardly really even notice it, as you can see there. But the weight definitely is noticeable. It's like having two of these in one. But I think if we looked at the actual specs, it wouldn't weigh twice as much. That's not really the case. As a matter of fact, in the case of the iPhone 16 or 15, it weighs nearly as much as some of these foldables. But yes, it is a downside for the weight and the thickness in a lot of cases. But since I always carry my phone in a pouch, it makes no difference to me. Now, another downside is the internal screen is more plastic than glass, so it can be more easily scratched or damaged, even from things such as a fingernail. So ladies that like them long fingernails, maybe a foldable is not for you. Then as far as accessories go, there's a lot less accessories for your foldables than there are for your bar phones, although a lot more manufacturers are accommodating the foldables. So that's not really a reason not to get one. Now, if you are considering getting a foldable, there's a lot of difference between them. You can check that out in this two-part series here. Enjoy. God bless.